Ramble.
Shout out to ZipRecruiter and Mack Weldon for sponsoring today's podcast.
Welcome to the TryPod. We are the Try Guys. Today we are going to be talking about recasting some of our favorite movies to be, a little more how we envisioned it. How can we improve upon a popular film or franchise? We're also going to be answering some of your hot boiling questions. You left us some reviews, so get in there, leave a 5-star review, and ask us a question or a secret that you've never told anyone before. Was it a secret or question? I don't know. I've never introduced this.
Yeah, they leave us secrets and
they
we
leave us
read
secrets.
them aloud.
Then what are the
questionable
questions?
secrets?
Kind of.
Oh, there's also questions.
Defeats
There's
the
also
whole
questions.
purpose
Wow,
of
so
a secret.
people are telling us secrets and asking us questions?
Yeah.
Wow, are we your moms?
Dude, nice one.
Are we your mom?
Dude,
No.
Eugene, you are on fire this morning.
We're your...
You're bad.
We're your dads.
We saw It Chapter 2 last night, finally, and it was the longest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Right, it was a 3-hour movie.
It's too goddamn long. I know we're done talking about it by the time this podcast come out, but holy shit, guys.
Well, it gave me a nightmare.
Did it?
It gave me a great nightmare it went from like magical nightmare to real adult problem nightmare.
Oh, no.
Because yes, I was being pursued by the clown. The clown was pursuing me, but then also there was like a bully character like there are in It. And this bully character was just being a total dick. He was throwing my phone around. He was being a dick. So I grabbed his phone and I ran away. But then he started like running like really fast and charging me. And yeah, kind of like a crazy demon. And then I just whipped his phone back at him, but it hit him in the throat. And he like crumpled over and started dying. And then I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to go to court. So then I
Then
sat
the real
down with
nightmare starts.
Yeah, that's exactly. I sat down with a pad and paper and started writing times of like time. He was fucking with me. 4:55. He threw my phone on the ground, cracking it. 5:03. I grabbed his phone and started running. 5:04. He was charging me with intent to hurt me. 5:05. I threw the phone in retaliation and it hit him in the throat. I was like writing down what happened so that I was ready to defend my case. I was defending myself.
Imagine a horror film that begins as a horror movie and then at the midpoint they kill the murderer and then the rest of the movie is a courtroom drama where they're trying
Yeah, where
to
like the
plead their
victim
innocence.
is going to be sent to jail. Yeah,
That's so funny.
yeah, that's what it was.
That's a very
It was
adult
a real
dream.
nightmare. I was like, oh no, I was riddled with guilt.
So, I guess we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, you guys have been leaving us sweet little 5-star reviews and leaving secrets. We thank you so much. We're so close to 10,000. Here is a sexy little secret. This one's called Another Sneezy Secret.
Oh, someone else wants to hear this sexy sneezer over here.
Can I get a big
Turn 'em
name?
on.
Bilbo Shaggins.
Yeah, that's good.
Bilbo Shaggins writes, when I was a child, I could be a total brat, but I didn't want anyone to know. So when my parents said I couldn't...
Sexy Bilbo Shaggins voice,
So
Miles.
when I didn't want anyone to know. So when my parents said I couldn't get a toy or something, I waited till they turned around and I sneezed on the toy. So whoever got it would be, quote, as sad as I was.
Oh.
I'm sorry to everyone who got my tiny child germs. I promise I've reformed. Love you all. Zach is the best.
I love that secret. I wasn't sure about it, but at the end, it really got me.
Good
Yeah.
secret.
I don't know, it kind of shows a poor lack of judgment at the end there.
Well, it's children.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that they love Zach.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
missed
little
the
confused.
joke.
I did.
I was
The
joking
person
about
was
the
just
Zach.
sneezing on toys.
Yeah, sneezing on toys is the defense mechanism to keep other kids away
It seems
from
like
your toys.
the same
Yes.
inclination to lick
Yeah.
cookies or something so your siblings couldn't get them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what's it called when you claim something?
Claiming it.
Claim it. Yeah, dibs.
Dibs.
That's the term. we
Germ
use. It's
dibs.
just- It's
Dibs.
dibs.
But-
Dibs
yeah.
of germs.
But that's
Dibs.
not, maybe I listen the most astutely because we just have a deep connection, Bilbo Shaggins
Oh my
and I.
God.
But she was saying that she sneezed on the other toys to pass on her sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't to get called dibs or to make them sick. It was just that I'm sad, and now the spirit of my sadness shall be transferred through this doll.
Oh,
But she
so
apologized for the germs.
Well,
So
as an
now
adult,
now she knows it was really about the germs. But yes, as a child, she thought that sadness was contagious.
it's a loaded
That is pretty
Which it
intense.
is.
I
Yeah.
mean, what if sadness
Sadness is
was
kinda
contagious?
contagious.
So it's like the opposite of dibs. You're not taking
Yeah.
it, you want to give to everybody.
Misery
Yeah.
loves company. That sounds
Yeah.
like contagious sadness to me.
Achoo.
What if it's
Ned, no.
Oh, you're so sad now, Zach. I sneezed on you. I sneezed my sadness to you. Wow, I feel so much better.
Oh, you
Sneezed
think
all
it's-
my sadness away and gave it to Zach.
What this makes me think of is that kids are way darker than I think adults ever give them credit for. That idea of like, I'm sad and I'm going to sneeze sadness onto others is like, that's some heady shit.
Yeah, they're mean. Children are vicious. They're mean. They don't know. They don't think about the ramifications of their actions. They're just mean. They'll just lay down on the floor and scream. You can't do that. You can't lay down on the floor and scream.
Well,
Unacceptable.
I could and I did,
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
but I did.
Unacceptable.
Wes is getting a little older and he's starting to know how to manipulate his emotions to try and get a response. You know, if
Yeah.
there's something that he can't do, like he's been getting very into watering the plants, which is hilarious and awesome and so cute. But you know, sometimes you don't want your baby controlling a hose, spraying it everywhere. So you might take the hose away and say, okay, we're done watering the plants now. He'll just fall on the ground in the dirt, pounding his hands,
Wow.
trying to get me to, you know, relent. I'm cold as ice.
Who's the
That's what you gotta
pushover?
be.
You or Ariel?
Oh, definitely Ariel. I mean,
Ah.
pushover is she's not a pushover.
Who's a
but
softie,
I
I
would
should
say
say.
no. That's not even not. I'm just more.
Who's less strict?
Yes, Ariel is less strict than I am.
I was hoping it was you. I could totally see you having a soft spot in whatever Wes wants. I feel like you're the mushy gushy.
No, because I love him so much that I need to
Discipline.
to teach him
The ways of the world.
It's like same with like sleeping, right? It's like if he's fussing and crying, like actually the best thing to do
Yeah, it's just
is to let him figure it out himself and kind of go in every so often.
That's what Maggie does with me whenever I'm having a tantrum.
Oh,
She
yeah?
just puts me in the other room and just lets me cry it out. It's much better because otherwise, if she comes in, I go, "Oh, that works." Now I know.
Yeah, now you know.
You know, I think I'm going to quote my stepdad. It's my favorite quote he ever said about me. There's a difference between, so we're talking about like Ned's being generally like mushy gushy versus being like a sensible parent,
Sure.
you know? So I think there's a difference between being sensitive and sensible, right?
I do like that quote.
So it's a very versus situation. You're both, but do you lean more towards one or the other? I always lean more sensitive, so I let my emotions in those situations override the logic of a situation, which doesn't mean it's worse. It just means that I will pick up my dog, even though I'm not supposed to pick up my dog in a training session because I just felt like it, you know? While if you lean more sensibly, you always follow exactly what you know is best in the situation in terms of a left-brained standpoint. You know what I mean?
You're
mean-
not allowed to pick up your dog?
Or, you know, if they're whining in the cage and you're trying to crate train them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick them up.
No, that's what I mean by I'm cold as ice. Like I can do what is right.
Interestingly, I'd say amongst the four of us, Ned would be on one side, the furthest, most sensible, and I would actually probably be the polar opposite. I think I'm the most sensitive.
Yeah.
You're pretty sensitive.
I'm super sensitive to people's emotions, like a little too much. It actually overwhelms me sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like what they used to call in like mutant lore an empath.
Eugene, I'm getting really upset about this discussion.
I need to leave the room.
It is fun though because the aura you give off is
It's
that
very
you like
cold and
Yeah.
evil. Yeah.
you got you're cold as ice. No emotion gets in or out, but not true. You are very.
I think it's because it was my
Empathetic.
defense mechanism when I was growing up to put on a cold front because I was so empathetic. I was just fucking in the playroom sneezing on all the toys, wanting everyone to feel my sadness. But when no one did, I became a villain.
I feel like you would have run into that toy store and you've been like, sneeze on my face. I can be sad with you.
Actually, yeah. There was a lot of stories of me as a kid. Like, I remember this girl lost her grandmother's. I don't know why she was wearing her grandmother's wedding ring in kindergarten
What?
one day. It was just
No.
like a thing her grandma let her do because she felt
that's
pretty,
fucked
and she
up.
lost it in
What a
this.
fool.
And she lost
Oh.
it. She lost it in the sandbox, and she was sitting there crying. And because she wasn't very popular, no one would help her. So I stayed out there. I stayed out there. Everyone went back into the school for class. I snuck back out, and for 2 hours, I dug around that sandbox by myself, found the ring, and when I gave it to her, she gave me a big old kiss.
Wow.
Ew,
And I was
cooties.
Because you gave her a wedding ring.
That's
bro.
true. What'd you
Oh, I did.
Dude, you proposed?
And I think when
proposed
she
to her.
and I think when she walked up to me, I was still like on my knees. and
You're
I turned like this.
engaged.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Eugene.
Really nice
You're
kid.
engaged.
You are
Congratulations.
engaged.
You are betrothed.
Yeah, I think her name was Ashley.
Ashley.
Congratulations.
Ashley and Eugene.
They didn't really talk to her because she was
Sitting in a
the
tree.
girl that was like a foot taller than everyone when you were a kid. So they were just like, oh, she's a giant. And then she turned out being regular.
No, also, like,
Yeah.
tall little kids have hilarious proportions.
Yeah, she was all limbs.
You're all noodle. I was a noodle person, so I can talk about it.
Aw.
They're like the it monsters.
I'm still kind of a noodle person, but
Wow.
I'm definitely a noodle
Wait
person.
a minute. Does that make me actually the first married try guy?
Well, the
Yeah.
first
First
engaged.
engaged.
First
Oh, I
engaged.
guess
You
I'm
didn't go
just
through the
You didn't
ceremony.
seal the deal.
I'm engaged for over 20 years.
You are the longest. This engagement is going on forever, bro. When are you
mean-
gonna do it?
I thought I had a long engagement.
Oh my God, I gave another ring to a girl in
What?
second grade.
Whoa.
And she gave me a kiss too.
Chayton.
And it's taking you this long to see the pattern.
I don't know. I guess I just figured out girls liked rings.
What was the context in second grade?
What was it? She just really liked rings. Her name was Kelly. And I drew this really beautiful portrait of her. And I gave her a ring and she gave me a kiss. I thought I liked girls.
Oh.
Of course.
Yeah. I was pretty smooth though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
like it.
Suave.
Yeah. You're like,
Love.
this is what people do to do things that girls like.
Yeah, and then I found out I liked dick and I just fucking wasted all that time on nothing.
And then, yeah.
Well, it probably gave you, some training in being charming just to anyone.
Yeah.
But gay men hate rings.
They hate
They
them.
hate rings.
If you
Well,
ever give
not-
a ring to
Not on the finger.
Hey, there it is.
On
Cha-cha.
the wrist.
World.
I got my ring wrist on, which means I'm gay. Right? Am I unsure?
Speaking of things you're wondering about, our listeners have been emailing in special little questions
Oh.
to @advice that will go for miles@gmail.com.
That's the question.
Oh, those are the questions.
Those are the
That's where we
questions.
get questions.
This is good for new
questions.
tripod listeners.
Yeah, new TryPod listeners know.
So secrets are on the app.
Yeah.
Old tripod
Questions
listeners are
are-
very frustrated.
Questions are sent to
Questions are sent to advice that will go for miles@gmail.com.
so long.
Yeah.
That's how he was able to get it.
That's how I was able to, it was available, which is really nice.
What are those questions?
So we have a couple questions from our adoring fans. The first one is written by a lady, and can I get a name of a lady?
Madam Tree.
Madam Tree.
Hello, Madam Tree.
Madam Tree writes.
Madam Tree's behind Eugene.
Madam Tree is behind
You said that
Eugene.
as the tree behind me touched me.
Well, I don't think the tree touched you. I think you touched the tree.
Here, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bump in the tree while you say this.
There's a
That's beautiful. Oh yeah,
there's a
it's
tree in our
beautiful.
studio.
There's a tree in our studio.
It's a fake tree, but it's a lovely fake tree.
It's a
Sometimes
nice fake tree.
you just need
Yeah.
some foliage to brighten up.
If you enjoy the fake plants in the video version of our podcast, let me know in the comments because every time before the podcast, I meticulously move them into frame. Okay. Madam Tree writes, ahoy to Miles, Eugene, Keith, Ned, and Zach.
Ahoy.
She's also a pirate. I'm a plucky little lass who was planning to go as Popeye style sailor for Halloween. It's fun.
Did you just pronounce it Popeye?
Popeye.
Okay.
Is that right? Popeye.
Yeah.
Popeye. Army timbers.
Melbourne.
Popeye.
He's not a pirate.
Popeye.
He's a sailor man. He likes spinach.
Oh, that's right. He has a big bicep and a hot wife. Okay.
Olive oil.
Olive oil. Yeah. And a baby. What's his baby's
Talk
name?
about
Looks a
noodle
lot-
armed.
Keith, you look a lot like olive oil. Yeah.
I was planning to go as a Popeye style sailor for Halloween. It's fun, easily recognizable, and allows me to flex my awesome arm muscles for the whole day. But I have recently been informed that this is a thing that comes up multiple times in season 3 of the hit Netflix original show Stranger Things. I don't watch it, and I don't plan on because I'm a schmuck. But more importantly, do I test myself against the seas and sail the stormy waters that is that a Stranger Things reference? and wear the sailor costume, or do I abandon ship and choose something different? Also, if y'all have any good alternative costume ideas, please let me know. Thank you.
So she is dressing as Popeye.
She's worried that people are going to think
that
she's
she's,
a Stranger Things reference when she really wants to be a Popeye reference.
They're going to think that
Exactly.
she's Joe Keery and Maya Hawke in Stranger Things season 3.
The
Yeah.
Scoops Ahoy
The Scoops Ahoy ice cream costume.
So what she's got to do is incorporate more Popeye elements. I'm talking your can that says spinach in giant letters.
Yeah.
I'm talking the tattoos.
The pipe.
A bottle of olive oil and a little dress.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
Hilarious.
Adorable.
Well,
yeah.
I would say, as someone who's very obsessed and serious with Halloween, one, get a partner to go with you as olive oil. That'll totally just nix any
Or
any
an olive oil
confusion.
bottle and a dress.
You could also do that. But I would say definitely the bicep. I think that if you have hair or if any way resemble Maya Hawke, that's where you're going to have a problem.
Oh, if you're a redhead?
If you're a redhead and if
Yeah.
you look like her and you're
If
in a
you have
sailor
hair.
outfit, yeah, if you just have like longer hair, they're gonna be like, "Oh, are you?
Yeah.
What's her name in Stranger Things?"
Maya Hawke.
Yeah,
But I think the pipe
come
will
to me.
help. I think Ned's right about the can of spinach. You just need more specifics.
Maybe a name tag that says, "Hey,
Hi,
I'm
I'm
Popeye,
Popeye."
the
Yeah.
sailorman."
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
I'd also invest in like full chin prosthetics.
Does Popeye have a big
Yeah, he has
chin?
a huge chin.
Right.
That would look way
You
cool.
know nothing about Popeye?
I know lots about. I used to read the comics and watch the thing. Exactly,
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
Popeye. But
He has like a high, weird voice. Yeah.
I
have you
do
s-
think-
Have you seen the Robin Williams Popeye?
With
Yes.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, a beautiful movie.
I think, though, unfortunately, you are, regardless of how many specifics you do, you're going to run the risk of people confusing you.
But also, is it a bad thing?
And that's a question you have to answer. It seems like it bothers her. So if that is going to bother you, then you should find something a little more specific, a little more timely.
But the best option is if you are essentially going as Popeye, you should find a guy who is tall and lanky and have him play olive oil.
Hell yeah.
That is the best option. It's like when people couple swap like Bob's Burgers or something.
Eugene, you're a fashion man.
Oh, yes, I am.
Tell the people the importance of having good basics.
You know, you need to stock your closet with all the basics in order to build off of, right? Fashion doesn't come from nowhere. You got to have the foundation.
You know, I used to only try and dress with just like only statement pieces, just wild, 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 wild. But without good quality basics, you can't tie it all together. It's
That's
the key
true.
to a good outfit. Mack Weldon is here to elevate your basic game. Their basics are anything but basic. The finest fabric in all the land.
Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping.
They're so soft. They're such good quality. And you're gonna be walking down the street and people are gonna be like, oh my God, where did you buy that? And you're gonna say, oh my God, I got it at Mack Weldon.
And it'll
they're
be
gonna
the
like,
most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants that you'll ever wear. And Zach, are you feeling stinky?
oh no, is it obvious?
Yes. But here's a solution. They have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which eliminates that stanky odor you got. And Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable. So if you don't like your first pair of underwear, you can keep it and they will still refund you, no questions asked.
The website is super easy. I'm a big fan of just their basic t-shirts. You can stack things on top of them. It just makes every outfit look better. You ever see like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and you're like, dude, where did he get a plain white t-shirt and how's it look so good?
Well, he has muscles.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have those, Mack Weldon's the next best thing, baby. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com. Enter the promo code TRYGUYS.
That is 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com with the promo code TryGuys.
I exclusively... Oh, yeah, Halloween's coming up. Fuck, we got to figure out our costumes.
I'm not going to figure it out.
I'm
I'm just going to last minute put on some bullshit. And
It's the best holiday.
I like it, but I'm never prepared
effort,
enough.
So much work.
And I never get invited to the cool parties. So
Well, then you need to be the cool party you want to see in the world.
Maybe.
We could throw a party.
we could throw a party, but it's never going to be good enough because everyone's at the cool party.
I exclusively gender swap my costumes with Maggie. I just think it's way more fun. Like one year, she wanted to be Darla from Finding Nemo, and I'm like, great, I'll be sexy Nemo. Hilarious.
But Nemo's a guy.
Yeah, but I was sexy Nemo.
Sexy,
Oh,
hot.
I
So
see.
I
You got
got
the
the
sexy
lady
He was
Nemo
dressed as
version.
girl Nemo.
Yeah, I was just as,
That's real next level.
I was dressed as Nemo's mom, who has an untimely exit in the film.
What?
But she looks sexy doing it.
But she looked good. That girl looked good in the beginning.
How come the Try Guys haven't been invited to any like cool mansion Halloween parties or cool mansion parties
Period.
in general? I know there's Hollywood mansion parties all the time. Why am I not there? I'm cool.
You're cool. You like to party.
I like to party. I like food.
You like mansions.
Cool. I love mansions. I just don't like. If anyone out there is a rich mansion owner throwing a dope ass party, shoot us an invite. You know?
I got invited to a Hollywood mansion Halloween party.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
You said you would or you did?
No, I did.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Which one?
I don't know. I mean, it was a
What do you mean you
couple
don't
years ago.
Did you
It was
go?
like a friend of a friend. I went and yeah.
Well, what? Tell us everything.
Well, you know, like it's not really my thing. Like I'm not. Halloween's not my favorite holiday.
It was a Halloween mansion party?
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm
got
saying. It was a
exactly what
Halloween
I'm
mansion.
wishing
And there was like
for.
a pool, and there was a whole bunch of people in costumes.
There was a pool?
Yeah, yeah, it was like in the Hollywood Hills.
In the hell?
You know, we left early because
You left early? What? Before all the shenanigans?
To be fair, I think that a lot of those parties now require you to have pretty excellent costumes.
I would
so
do it.
They need to see that you've had.
So you're
good
back on
costumes,
board,
too.
Keith. You want an excellent costume.
I would do it if I had a place. I just never have a place. So why would I make a dope ass costume to do nothing?
Because you got to seek that out sometimes.
I can't find it.
I used to go to
find
I
it.
used to go to some of those types of parties, but they're not as fun as you might think because everyone's just there to get their pictures taken.
It's
I
more
left early.
Yeah. That's why I still do the Santa Monica Strip, even though it kills me because I'm always in like stilettos, but I'll do it because it's the coolest place to get your costume seen.
the most fun is you just need a friend that has a great backyard to throw a big party with a lot
Like
of
when
people.
you had one.
I had great Halloween
Zach
parties.
used
Yeah,
to throw
that's
the
true.
bitchinest parties. They were awesome. I always got mega loaded.
This was when we still worked at BuzzFeed, and I did it for my birthday 2 years and Halloween 2 years in a row. And I would I had lived with two other guys, and our living room was downstairs from our bedroom. So we would just clear out the entire living room. We'd push everything against the walls, and then I would go into the BuzzFeed equipment cage and say, "Hey guys, I'm throwing a party. Give me all the lights." And the equipment guy, they were like homies with me, and they would just hook me up with all the party lights that like someone bought for a video and then never used. I would wrap my staircase with them.
Yeah.
We had like lasers everywhere, clear my living room into a dance floor. And then I had this shared cul-de-sac in the backyard with like 12 other houses. And I would go around and I'd be like, "Hey guys, having a party. Come on by." Invite people just so that they wouldn't call the cops on us. And so we had like these kind of movie level ragers, which were like, 200 people. And you look around, you're like, I don't know half the people here. It
And
was
I would
great.
just like, but because that happened, like other people's apartments also became spillover for the party.
Right. They
and
were
then suddenly I'm
satellite
in
parties.
like an English guy's bedroom across the way from
British Jack,
Like we're about
who
to
we saw
have
last night.
sex. No, but we were like just hanging out. It was just like I don't know where I was. I was just somewhere else with British Jack, who
Well, no,
became a great
British
friend.
Jack plays in my soccer league.
Oh, yeah.
I love British Jack.
We love British Jack. Shout out to British Jack. Hey.
You guys have never been to a gay Halloween party, have you?
No, I can't get the invite. Baby.
That is next level shit.
No, it is.
Yeah?
You guys
What's
go
it
for
like?
it.
Because everyone there is committed to have an insane costume.
Yeah.
And there's like always like 300 plus people there. And people are going fucking crazy. For people to put in like full on like rent a mansion, decorations, all this stuff, red
That's
carpet.
what I want.
We should
Moments
we should
ago,
go
you were
then.
trying to dissuade me.
No,
from
that,
saying,
no, that
just
means
wanted the pickies.
what we got to
taken.
do. What we got to do is start planning costumes now.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
You can't just like pick it up the day before. You have to have. I've had a costume plan since June.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
And
have
it's
3
a
options. It's a secret
Ugh.
My favorite
because people find out when they see it. Once they see it.
Yeah.
My favorite couple's costume for the year, if anyone saw the movie Midsummer, which I like to pronounce Midsommar, I want a couple's costume where one of you goes in a full flower crown outfit dress and the other one dresses like a bear. If you've seen that movie, you know what's up.
So you're gonna be in the flower crown and Maggie will be the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Best thing that ever happened to me was having a cute baby. You put all of the costuming on the baby. Suddenly, everyone looks at the baby. You don't have to deal with it.
Yep.
And sure, you could do a family costume, but like, really, it's all about the baby. It's great.
What I'm-
Pressure's off.
What I'm hearing is maybe you guys want to throw a Halloween party.
Did we just rent a mansion?
Can we have it in the
That's
office?
a great video. We
Yeah.
should rent a mansion and throw a dope ass party.
And then we can be what I always wanted to be, which is Heidi Klum on Halloween. That's the party you need to get into.
oh, and we can have a big moment where you walk down the staircase.
What does it mean to be Heidi Klum on Halloween? Oh,
Heidi
I know.
Klum
She
is-
always has amazing
She was the
costumes.
first like major celebrity who became like every year she does an insane costume, and then she has a huge party.
You should dress as Heidi Klum this year.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
get
Wow,
You can be
that's
Heidi
actually
Klum.
very meta.
we'll get drag queens to perform. We'll get like Smash Mouth to perform.
Yeah.
We'll get like
Nope, only drag queens in Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
okay, I'm in. I was gonna move on to like corn dogs and like the food that we could get.
Yeah, no, I'll be there for sure.
Okay.
Like, oh, we'll get a whole roast pig. A whole roast pig. Why? Because it's gruesome.
I
Halloween.
love spooky foods too. Like you call the spaghetti and meatballs the brains.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole roast pig and a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs.
That you have to serve with your hands.
Yeah, classic Halloween stuff.
and candy corn everywhere.
Oh,
You guys don't like candy corn, right?
I
like
That's not my
candy corn.
favorite.
I love candy corn.
I don't love it,
Come
but
at
I
me, bro.
I
You
appreciate
love
it.
it? You
Yeah, I love it.
it?
I love it. I love it.
You
It's my
love
favorite
it?
Halloween candy. It's also probably the only Halloween candy.
That is
Name 3 others.
exclusively Halloween candy?
Yes.
I guess it's exclusive.
The plain
Well-
chocolates that are wrapped in jack-o'-lantern foil.
1.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I guess of the exclusively Halloween candies, that would have to be my number one as top
you know
3.
What? You know what? The
Skull
the
gumballs.
strawberry wrapper that like it's around like a chewy sort of
Yeah.
hard candy that's in the strawberry thing. That's something I only get at Halloween now.
Oh.
You know, it
I
looks
always
like a
think
little
of that as
strawberry.
Christmas
It
candy.
looks to me like a grandma candy in general.
One year, my friend's dad got us all into his stuffed us into a minivan, and he just charted to the best houses, like not even in our town. We went like to different towns, and we would just drive up, run to the door, get back, get in the car, and he had mapped out the places that were handing out the best candy, the best stuff. It felt like cheating.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I
Right?
didn't do that. No.
I think you got to go on foot.
You
That's
gotta
the
go
whole
on
point.
foot.
You're
I would
allowed
accept
to
bicycle.
drive to neighborhoods if you stay in that neighborhood for like an hour plus.
Yeah.
Right?
This
As
felt,
opposed to walking.
it felt wrong to me. I got
That's
some
wrong.
great stuff.
I would say that we were kids growing up where when I was a young kid, it was us trick-or-treating. And then once I got into high school, it became the era where trick-or-treating started falling out of style because of
I know.
the dangers of it, and people did more communal things.
How
like-
old were you saying?
Once I hit high school, people
Yeah.
started trick-or-treating less. And I think now it's more
Yeah,
like
we
people
were-
go to
Oh,
rec
I
centers.
think
and
middle
they
school
party.
we
dies
were the
off.
last. Well, we were.
No, I'm
older
saying
than
when
you.
it died off in general.
Oh,
Like
just the
people
world.
don't trick-or-treat
Oh,
as much
Yeah, we
now.
were the
that's
last
not true.
generation.
They
I
do
think,
it in
of
their-
dangerous trick or treating.
Yeah, we fucking went to stranger. We went everywhere by ourselves. Like
Oh,
parents
yeah.
went with us. We just ran wherever we went.
Like
yeah.
I think we were the last generation
generation.
of the free.
Did your parents go with you? They never went with me.
No.
No.
They always go, bye, see you in
I
like
went
5
with you when I
hours.
was like a child, but as
They
soon
went
as I was 10,
Yeah. No, then it's just you and your friends running amok in
Hooligans.
the neighborhood.
My parents let me go when I was like 7 by myself.
Well, you
Not with
remember
your sisters.
With my sisters, but we were still
Yeah.
like
See,
3 kids.
I was able to do that when I was
when we were
younger
kids,
because I had
yeah.
older brothers.
how old were we with the razor blade scare?
That was when we were kids.
Those
I
are
was
the
I was
Yeah.
young. You guys,
I think there's
obviously a few
like
years older, but-
no
Which that
evidence
then
of that
became
ever
sort of a
happening,
there was
too.
that was
It's
a
just
myth
an
that
urban
started that never
legend.
was true.
a terrifying.
A terrifying one. That
Legend.
razor blades were put in the apples. That
Oh,
they would-
yeah,
someone
that's
would give,
right.
Which
but-
also, who the fuck's giving out apples, and what kid is gonna bite into an apple on Halloween?
Have you seen how quickly it takes for an apple to turn discolored once it gets any oxygen? Like if you put a razor blade in it, it would have a
see.
giant brown slash on the side.
I do remember my mom being like, only eat the packaged candies.
Man, urban
Don't
legends are
eat,
crazy.
Original stuff.
Yeah, the razor blade and apples was a huge thing for us as kids.
I definitely enjoyed as a teenager then kind of pranking people on Halloween. Like one year I dressed up as a scarecrow and sat myself in the yard, and then I put next to my arm, so I have like straw coming out of my neck and my elbows and wearing full gloves and pants. I'm just kind of flopping to the side. Then I put next to my arm a big old bowl of candy with a sign that says, "Please take one." Everyone knows this. The signs that say "Please take one." There's
free
always
for all?
a chance that someone takes more than one because not everyone's polite. Actually, most people see it as a free for all. Exactly. And so anytime some mischievous middle schoolers came and were like, "Oh yes, basket, take all the candy," I would jump up and go, "Rah!"
Yeah, it's a good
And
good
they
prank.
poop themselves.
You did something similar, right, Keith?
Yeah, we had a little garbage bag. So we had you know how you put your leaves in garbage bags, but in Halloween time they had like jack-o'-lantern looking garbage bags you could put your leaves in when you raked up your yard.
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
had those. We had some spares, so my brothers and I sometimes would tie ourselves up in another one but leave holes where the eyes were, and then as kids walk by we'd just stick our arms out of the bag. So there'd be like a row of bags with leaves and then a row, then just one that has a child in it, and with these little lanky armed Habersbergers reaching out at children. And we also had we had this a card table, and we had the Thing from the Addams Family was what gave out candy. So it was a card table with a little cigar box on top, and one of us would be underneath, and you'd pull your hand up through the box, and you'd have a piece of candy that you'd give to the kid.
That's so cool.
And but it was fun because you did little like bits. Like sometimes there would be a kid who was nervous, and I could hear my mom being like, "Oh, he's shy. No, he won't hurt you." And I come out, and I would look like afraid as the hand, and then I would like put the candy out, and then I'd like come back. I would go back in, and I would just like keep one finger out as if it was watching, and then it would wave. And then sometimes people would be like aggressive and try to grab the hand. So then I would just start rocketing candy out of the hole. I wouldn't come out. I would just toss it like a fountain. It was very fun. All of us did
That's
it at
such
some
a
point.
blast.
It was such a cool way to give out candy. I hope I can do something similar. I did find on Snopes that yes, people have put razors and needles into
Well,
candy.
of course someone
yeah.
has.
Yeah.
But
We've
it
been
really was.
around for millions of years eating candy on Halloween. Of course somebody's put a
True.
razor.
Yeah.
Millions of years.
Speaking of revising an old story, that brings us to our next segment where we revamp and remake older movies. Each of the boys have brought a movie that they would like to remake for the modern era with a new cast, new twist, new style, etc. So, who would,
Etc.
etc.
I texted this out. I'll go first.
Please.
The movie I'm remaking is Cloud Atlas. And I'm
Why?
going to... Why? Because it was...
Ancient, first of all.
I've got a much better plot to it. It's
Okay.
what I thought the movie was about when I first saw the trailer.
I don't think everyone knows Cloud Atlas, so before you revise it, can you hit us? Try and hit us
you
with the
explain it?
synopsis.
Nope. It's Cloud Atlas is a sci-fi movie set between a bunch of different time periods and a bunch of different places, and they turned white people into Asian people.
Yeah, was it like
It was based on a novel, I believe, and then it was a film by the Wachowskis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of the Matrix fame?
Very confusing.
And Speed
I
Racer.
couldn't explain it to you if I tried, but when I watched the trailer, it shows like these fantastical elements and then these real world, like, 19th century like Britain elements. And it's called Cloud Atlas. So I thought to myself, this movie is about the difference between the real world and the cloud world. And there's this magical atlas that lets you go between the two worlds.
A visit into Ned's imagination.
Yes.
Cloud World.
Cloud World, led by the mysterious but beautiful Idris Elba
Nice.
and his
I'm in.
Cloud Warriors.
I'm in.
Isn't there a movie that is about like the upper class lives on like a cloud world way up high and the lower
That's
class?
Elysium.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also funny. Actually, I wasn't going to pitch this, but I've always wanted to do take Metropolis and turn that into a kind of modern disaster horror film. But Metropolis is kind of the original, based on like the elite living above and lower class living below.
Oh, and
And the Jetsons are like that
Alita
too.
Battle Angel is also kind of in that same
Yeah,
realm.
there's a lot.
It doesn't focus on the upstairs people,
Yeah.
but it is in that world where there's a big rich class upstairs.
Very classic
Yep.
trope. Do you ever watch the Jetsons and wonder like who's down below at the bottom of those building stalks?
Probably a bunch of
No.
mutants.
Yeah.
Robots.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing
monsters.
I think the Jetsons are like they're the elite, and they're
Yeah,
They're
they got a
living.
maid. They got a robot maid.
they
Yeah.
built their empire on a pile of suffering.
Isn't there a conspiracy theory that the Flintstones live down there?
That's so funny.
That's funny.
And
The
then it's-
grand unifying theory of
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. And then like there's like the Stone Age down there. Like it's like reverted to the Stone Age, but then all the future people live above the clouds.
But we never see the base of the Jetson Tower.
That's also
No,
like
exactly.
H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
Oh, great book.
That's probably like the original upper class, lower class futuristic society. Anyways, that's what this would be. Cloud Atlas, one man, Tom Holland, from a lower class society,
Love
young
it.
boy, finds this mysterious Cloud Atlas and he goes,
Oh yeah.
blows the dust off of it.
Love
and
that
then it
moment.
starts shining. And then it shows him a map to the cloud world.
Wow.
He has to like fight his way up there.
Yeah.
Mhm. There's like
Yeah.
alien lizards and
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
And Kate Blanchett at first is an enemy, then becomes a friend.
And now
Wait, so you're just rewriting the entire thing?
So it's based on
Yeah,
the title.
It's not even a remake.
No,
really?
well, it is a remake.
It's a
because we-
reimagining.
The idea you had when you saw the trailer.
Exactly. We
It's-
buy the IP of Cloud Atlas and then we
Totally rewrite
completely change it.
Okay.
now, as an executive, I love the idea, Ned. I want to greenlight this movie, but I want to make sure that the elements that I loved from the first film are still there. So how many white actors get to play Asian people?
So we're gonna twist that on its head. It's actually an all Asian cast.
Oh, nice.
Except for Tom Holland, he just helped
Right.
Kate Blanchett.
yeah.
Back in the day, I remember hiring used to be hard. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, confusing review process. Did you hear I was going to do an old man voice and I decided not to commit? But today, hiring can be easy and you only have to go to one place to get it done. ZipRecruiter.com/approach.
You know, we are in the market for a new job here, or a job that needs to be filled.
Yeah, so as you guys know, here at Second Try with the Try Guys, we make a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff. We need the best people. And sometimes, unfortunately, you know, we have to let some people go and get someone new. We have been looking for a new podcast producer.
You know,
Am I fired?
No, no.
it's weird that we're doing this now
in
while
the
he's running this podcast.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it out there because
Just putting it out there.
because ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, right? And so there might be a lot of really actually talented podcast producers,
submit my resume on the site?
but they don't stop there.
They have powerful matching technology. ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply to Miles' job.
As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates, and sometimes will tell you how they're better than Miles, so you never miss a great match. You know what, Miles? We take it back.
We take it back. You're fine.
You're doing. But we are gonna hire HR because we do a lot of really questionable stuff here.
like pretending like we're firing someone in front of their face on a podcast.
but it's for fun.
It is for fun. And you know what? ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/approach.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/APPROACH.
ZipRecruiter.com/approach.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Well, let me walk you down the lane of my reimagining. Disney has been crushing it lately with the reinventions of modern classics. I said that wrong. But they're taking all these old animated films and making them live action.
As we've discussed on this pod, with
What's next?
much to our chagrin.
Yeah, they're not great. But,
Emperor's New Groove.
well, that's a great choice too. But I was going for Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, but I want this to feel like The Hobbit. I want the
Explain.
dwarves to be the mountain-dwelling dwarves that are like kind of greedy, kind of like overzealous.
Yeah.
They're like too monstrous. They do, and those dwarves have been cast out of the mountain because they didn't fit in the world of the other dwarves in
So
the
you
mountain.
you're basically, this is a dark, gritty Snow White.
and the Seven Dwarves.
Okay.
Like because it's a gritty plot, right?
Wait,
like
did they do this?
Snow White and the Huntsman?
Yeah.
oh, I didn't watch it.
You're describing what has already been made. I was about to say.
I was about to say, it's like
Really?
Snow White and
Snow
the
White?
Huntsman, but for Snow White.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that
so
was
I
Snow
guess
White.
my idea is great.
They made two of them.
That's what I'm saying.
And they were okay.
they were pretty
So they
mediocre.
seem- like they need a remake.
you take that back. Those movies were awesome.
So who would you cast as Snow White?
I hadn't thought that far. I was just excited about Middle Earth Snow White.
Who
but
would
I
you-
guess someone's already done that poorly.
Who would you cast as the Huntsman? I want to see if you accidentally guessed the real
Ooh,
casting.
Chris Hemsworth.
That's who they fucking
Literally who it is.
really don't know anything about this movie.
Oh my god.
I knew it.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
That's exactly like I imagine a huntsman's face. I'm like, oh, this is Chris
It's
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
In all fairness, I picture him
Dwarfs in
from
that
Mo.
movie.
I didn't see it.
I would also go with Chris Pratt.
Any Chris?
He'd be a fun one.
He'd
It was
be
really
fun.
just an Angelina Jolie starring vehicle.
No.
That's Maleficent.
No,
You're
that's
thinking
Maleficent.
of Charlize Theron.
Jason Jesselman,
Charlize Theron is the
Snow
evil
White and the
queen.
Huntsman.
Evil Queen and Snow White and the Huntsman.
And wasn't it Kristen Stewart?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart was Snow White.
Hollywood sweetheart, Kristen Stewart.
Keith, does that
Angelina
gel with
Jolie,
your
Maleficent.
Big
that's Sleeping
mistake.
Beauty.
No, we gotta choose somebody older.
older?
Yeah.
How much older?
She needs to be in her 40s.
Really?
Yeah.
Snow White?
No way.
White.
Okay,
That's
so
why
Yeah,
she's
'cause
so
it's-
old.
Far in the future.
who you
So
thinking?
old. And like in in old movies, it's like okay, like people, it's not like modern society where like all the young women have to play old ladies. Old ladies can play old ladies.
How about
It's Kristen Wiig in her first dramatic role.
wow, that'd be wild.
how about Viola Davis?
Oh,
Give her a shot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Give her a
Although that's gonna be tough with just the first line is like her skin was as fair as snow.
big fair.
I mean, I'm in support of different casting, but that one is
That one
probably
is tougher. Yeah, okay, I get that.
That one's tougher.
Didn't think that one
What do you
through.
got? Hey, let's change the subject. Hey, let's change the
Why are
subject.
we ending every remake with
All right, so we have Ned's remake that is not really a remake.
No, well.
Keith's remake
He's
that
forgetting what
already
it is.
happened.
What do you got, Zach?
I got two, but I think I'll go with the dumber one. So I'm going to bring you back to the year 2009. Okay? The Karate Kid just came out and it was a smash box office hit starring a young Jaden Smith. And I was like, oh, fuck. This kid is the future of Hollywood. He's Will Smith, but tinier, right? And so in my mind, I was like, okay, here I am, a young film student. I could spend all this time writing original movies, or I can just plot out the next 10 years of Jaden Smith's career. And so what I did is I went into my room and I thought of all of the wonderful movies that could be Jaden Smith starring vehicles. Now, of course, a lot of these were just mining Will Smith IP and figuring out, but what if we did it with a child? So such classics as Child West, in which Artemis Fowl accidentally creates a childification ray and turns James West into a kid. Hijinks ensue.
That's pretty good.
You get Lil Men in Black, which is the junior division
Kids
of
in
Men
Black.
in Black. No, Lil Men in Black.
Little Men in Black.
Lil.
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 It'd be like Baby Geniuses, but for the Men in Black era.
Well, they're more teenagers.
Okay.
And they can party.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
When they're
I'm
teenagers?
actually very surprised there's no like kids in Black. Like,
Yeah, right?
kids fighting aliens. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It totally makes
And
sense.
it'd be great.
Jaden, yeah, but then Jaden went his own way. He became his own thing. He's got his music career. He's got his
Very
fashion career, helping
fashionable.
water and Flint. He's doing cool stuff. But the one that I actually wanted to remake, one of my favorite movies as a kid, was Blank Check. Do you guys remember Blank Check?
Dude, that's a great that really should be remade. Also, you should remove the kiss between the adult and the child.
That was my favorite scene.
Well, it's inappropriate.
It's weird. Okay, Blank Check. If you don't,
that moment especially doesn't age well.
it doesn't.
A
but-
romantic kiss is shared between an adult woman and a young
child.
boy.
I watched it back again because we talked about this months and months ago, and it's a full-on kiss.
It's like almost a slow motion kiss.
Yeah, it's very weird.
and there's fountains in the background that are backlit. Like it's
a
beautiful.
romantic movie between a 11-year-old
Mm-hmm.
boy and a full-grown secret agent woman.
It's clearly written by like some nerd dude.
Yeah.
From like a dream
I
perspective.
think it was written by a good. Look up who wrote Blank Check. I think it has a very accomplished screenwriter. But oh no, you know who it is? It's the guy who wrote Save the Cat. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talks about that fucking movie. That's his only claim to fame. Anyway, Blank Check is a movie where a kid gets a blank check from his grandmother, and he like goes into the bank system and types it in for $1 million, and then he accidentally ends up stealing some bad guy's money.
It isn't a blank check from his grandmother. It's a blank check from a guy who hits him with his car.
Oh,
he's
that's
riding
what
a
it
bicycle. A rich dude hits him with his car.
But it's the bad guy.
And yes, the bad guy gives him a check, and he like basically writes like he's like just give yourself $100, kid. and
he types in $1 million.
Types in $1 million.
And with that $1 million, he buys a mansion. He installs a water slide for that mansion. He gets a limousine and a private limousine driver. And he gets a whole backyard of toys and inflatable. Actually, the parties that I used to throw where I had a bouncy castle in my backyard was inspired by Blank Check.
I mean, it makes sense.
It was Blake Snyder. He wrote
Blake
it.
Snyder, there
and
you go.
the parents
Amazing.
are just nowhere.
Nowhere.
The
Well,
parents are nowhere.
yeah, they're pretty negligent. But the big theme of that movie is that you can't buy friendship and you can't buy love. And he tries to fill the
You also
void.
can't buy a mansion for only $1 million.
Maybe back
Jeez.
then.
Uh,
Not now.
I don't
Not
think
in LA.
ever.
You can do that in like Alabama. You can do that in Michigan. Maybe some parts of Michigan. You can do that a lot of places, but not here.
I agree, though. I think that the $1 million and the check aspect is the most antiquated, which is why the entire idea,
Down payment.
the entire idea is based on the new title, PayPal,
I like this.
Now you got it.
which is also now antiquated.
Uh-huh.
But because it's a double entendre, the true message of the film is that you cannot pay for friendship.
Can I pay for a pal?
Well, he tries to,
Mm.
but you can't. Money can't buy everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it
Wow.
can buy you a smooch from an undercover FBI agent.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think that's a good pitch. I'm
Pretty good,
surprised
right?
People haven't remade that already. Just
Because it's a fun movie, but it's far from perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a fun. It's that classic wish fulfillment as a kid that I think then you can update it and do whatever you want with it.
Eugene, what's your movie?
Okay, so I've been dreaming about this for a long time. And if ever given the chance in the future, I would love to actually direct something like this. But it's actually quite timely. I've always had some qualms with X-Men casting.
Oh yeah,
And I'm a huge X-Men fan. I love the MCU, but I was always like a diehard X-Men kid.
hell yeah.
Okay, so envision this. If I could take the helms of the X-Men franchise, you reboot it, but you do it in the tone of Logan. Not just because it's
Perfect movie.
gritty and dark, it's because X-Men is the one MCU property that directly deals with oppressed groups.
Yep.
And it needs to be darker. I think of the times, the 2000s X-Men, when they first did it, it was very flashy, very Bryan Singer, but it was not quite as connected to what I think are, issues that actually are very resonant today that we openly speak about. There's a lot of opportunity there that I think that can be extrapolated. I think also for me to like dreamcast how I originally thought it should be 20 years ago, but also then update it so it's not the same rehashing of the exact same story every time. Here's my vision. So
I'm excited.
the cast is aged up, right? So that Professor X needs to be much older, and all those main cast members that if you're seeing the Dreamcast right now for the MCU X-Men, they're like, oh yeah, Jean Grey is going to be like 20. No, I want her to be 50. I want them to be the elders.
I also wanted the old people.
The elder versions of these characters. So then also you can cast them correctly in my mind, and then you can introduce a new cast of mutants who are much more diverse and interesting that exist in the comics that we haven't seen before.
Starring Jaden Smith as Lil Nightcrawler.
So
It's like X-Men First Class with the kids.
no, not at
no,
all.
it's X-Men Babies.
This is like no, because this
That
is
older.
introducing X-Men we've never seen before on film.
Okay.
So that's the younger people that you would
Second class.
that I'm not going to get into because most people don't know the characters, but because they have the New Mutants coming out, which was pushed back, and those are some.
Give us two.
So I'll give you some.
funniest one. He shoots nails.
But
out
let me
of
give
his
you.
nose.
I want to give you the casting
Okay,
of
okay,
of the characters. People who are listening will know.
right.
So my dream casting for Professor X, though I think Patrick Stewart was genius casting. He should not be British. Professor X is from New York, so I think that for me, Ed Harris would be perfect.
Ooh.
I would love to see Ed Harris as Professor X.
Interesting.
Ed Harris, I don't know if he has that immediate warmth.
I adore Ed Harris.
I like
think
him
he's
too.
amazing, everything. But I think at this point, he's also going to be so beaten by the world.
Yeah, then maybe you can have that rugged. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Wolverine, even though he ages very slowly, I always thought this should have been the original casting. I want him to be aged up because in the comics they do that with time travel.
Yep.
Ian McShane from
Ha!
Deadwood. The thing about
He's got the
Hugh
mud chop
Jackman,
to
he's
support
amazing. Wolverine is canonically short. He's a shorter guy. He's grizzled, and he has a deep, mean voice. And he's not supposed to be traditionally hot. It's just
No,
not
he's
Wolverine's character.
rough.
Ian McShane is my perfect Wolverine. And then Storm, of course, has to be Angela Bassett. There's no question. We need a darker skinned Storm who has the presence of an African queen. And like she literally plays an African queen in Black Panther.
And she literally is an African queen in real life.
Now there's like younger options you could have now, but I think that Angela Bassett also looks like she's still 20. So I think that you could still cast her in whatever they do.
She's amazing.
And then I would say, yeah, like the other mainstays like Jean Grey. I would love to see Nicole Kidman as Jean Grey.
Wow.
I think she
They're
would be
all older.
This is
huh?
an expensive cast.
all older. Yeah. This is my like
X-Men.
my like elite
Well,
like
you
A-list
saved-
cast.
You saved some movie on Ian McShane so you can splurge for Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and then you could do like Jubilee, who's often the teenager who's never properly portrayed in the films. Though Lana Corner did a great job. She'd be in her 40s now. She'd be played by Ming-Na Wen. Yes, which in the comics, Jubilee becomes an ultimate mutant where she has like telepathy and she's like dark and crazy. Yeah, this shit fucking rocks. And I think that they should do that, introduce the New Mutants, which they have a New Mutant movie coming out anyways, but a younger class of mutants that we haven't seen yet portrayed on film in their teens and 20s.
Were you cartoon or comics or both? When
I was
growing up?
cartoon and then I started reading the comics.
Yeah. What was? Did you guys
Only cartoons
comics?
for me.
Just not even X-Men.
I just didn't read comics at all. So like that, my parents, this is something we didn't have, and I didn't think that
Did you read Ultimate
was a
X-Men?
book.
You know, which one was that one?
That was they rebooted Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Spider-Man in the early 2000s, and those were big for me. I loved those.
So, yeah, I think that the big thing is that once they do X-Men in the MCU, they're just going to do the same storyline again.
Are they doing that?
Yeah, they're trying to bring it into
Weird.
MCU, yeah. Which is hard because X-Men itself is such a constructed
own
world.
universe.
And it's dark. I think it's like so dark inherently because it's essentially playing off of a third class group, which is mutants.
That's why Logan's so great.
Yeah, that's why Logan's so good.
Yeah.
So I want that.
Who would
Marvel
play Cyclops?
Oh, Cyclops. That's tough because you need someone in their 50s to match up with Nicole Kidman. So it needs to be like a fading pretty boy, but with the what like Chris Evans brought to his role.
Cruise.
I'm thinking Tom Cruise.
No, I think more like a Brad Pitt might be more appropriate, but someone who has like
But Cyclops,
inherent humor
Brad
about
Pitt's too
themselves.
likable.
No, but Cyclops should be likable.
I know, but he's like he's like
always
an
been so
all-American.
vanilla. He's been so vanilla and everything.
Yeah.
He's got to have some edge, and by that point in his 50s, he's
would have
probably
some edge.
pretty grizzled. That's a tough one. There's a lot of actors I think who could play Cyclops, but I
actually
think
feel
that
like-
would be an interesting.
What's his name from Westworld did a good Cyclops. Wasn't he Cyclops?
Oh, James Marsden.
James
Yeah,
Marsden
he did good.
was good.
You know, I liked a lot of the original cast.
Yeah.
I just think when you watch it back, you're like, oh, it's crazy thinking X-Men was like X-Men and Spider-Man by Sam Raimi were the
Started,
first
yeah.
like superhero movies using CGI in our era.
Also, like all those movies had a color palette that was like candy.
Yeah.
Like it was these cherry reds, these like bright blues, and then when like Batman Begins came out, everyone's like, "Oh wait, if it's darker, it's much more interesting." And then all the movies started having way better, like both just color palettes and just how they shot them. They made them all darker. Then Marvel got to play around in this world that sometimes looked like candy, but had problems that were like darker, and then also could look really dark and still have fun, humorous characters.
Ooh, Magneto would be Sam Elliott. Without the mustache, because Magneto is always portrayed with very thick, wavy white hair, and has like a deep voice in my mind. But I think Sam Elliott would rock that. Sam Elliott versus Ed Harris.
Pretty fun. Eugene,
Yeah.
I just have one very important question though about the X-Men. What happens when you hit a frog with lightning?
You know what happens when Toad is struck by lightning?
The same thing that
The same thing that happens to everything else. The worst line.
in cinematic history.
One of the worst lines in cinematic history. It was one of Storm's lines from the first X-Men.
Remember it now.
The first X-Men, I was like a boy when I watched, and I watched
was
it
but a boy.
so many times.
I was down with it because it was
was
like one of the
great.
first
It's
superhero
great.
movies you could see. There were like
You know, that's the-
moments that are good.
I watched X-Men 3 before I saw X-Men 1. Then I was like, oh, this franchise is awesome. I need to go back. And then I was like, this one's even better.
X-Men 3, they all become like pop punk. Like there's like an awesome
X3 was notoriously
the weirdest
bad.
one.
Yeah. railed by critics.
X2 was the best for
Supposed
sure.
to be the worst
Yeah.
one. And then I'm like going back and it kind of
Logan's
like
number one.
increased.
Logan is number one
Yeah,
in the
then
entire
I would love
X-Men
to
franchise.
watch all of the X-Men in the correct order now.
Ugh,
in
I don't know
my
that you
timeline.
could. It's too cacophonous.
It's very cacophonous, but I would love to try.
You know, X-Men was actually the first screenplay that I ever owned and read. Isn't that weird?
Huh.
They would sell in New York, like there's like, you know, knockoff stores. They would sell like the fake purses and like shitty sunglasses. And then one dude in the subway just had a bunch of screenplays printed. So I bought X-Men, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and The Matrix. And I'm like, I'm going to start with the easiest one. And I read that as like when I was like 11 or 12 years. It must have been like 12 years old.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail was a movie that's maybe one of the movies I've watched the most in my life because of how much I watched it in middle and high school.
That checks out with your
Almost
personality.
every Saturday, like my friend Hank would come over and we'd watch Monty Python.
Have you ever had the experience of going to your neighbor's house where they show you a movie and then cut out certain scenes and tell you why it's related to Jesus?
No, I know those people because
Yeah.
I lived in a similar town.
They cut out scenes themselves.
So the first time I saw The Matrix was at my very religious neighbor's house, and they cut out certain scenes that were too racy and then would pause the movie several times to talk about how Neo was related to the second coming of Christ.
Oh, little did they know.
Yeah.
Little did they know.
Yeah, I had a very weird childhood, but that was the first time I saw Matrix. And when I finally saw it again, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of fighting in this movie. They didn't show us the fighting parts.
What? That's
What?
the movie.
That's
Yeah.
the whole movie.
I didn't even see this part the first time.
What?
The slow-mo bullet time?
I think they were trying to be like in their own cute way, like cool for their kids, be like, oh, we're going to show you this popular movie.
That's the movie.
Well, he is
Yeah.
a Christ figure.
He was a Christ figure.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could definitely
Matrix 3.
pull
classic
from the
Chosen
first
One plot.
Yeah, it's very
Even
classic.
the
Chosen
first
One.
one, it's clearly like, oh, this is kind of like a Jesus story.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the oldest stories in the world.
One of the best.
It's a good story.
He's the most famous Jew ever.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yep. Repping my people well.
Yezu.
Yeah.
I was about to start singing a hymn with you, but we do that too much when we're drunk.
Yezu, joy of man's
When we
desire.
were
Sometimes
on-
me and Keith, when we're drunk, because we're like big old church kids, we just start singing Bible hymns with one another.
When we were on tour, they would sit across from me on the bus, and I'd be eating our snacks and like reading fan mail, and like any of the things that we got, like gifts from the night, and they would just be eating French fries and singing hymns and staring at me.
We would go, you know this one? And then we would start singing.
Lord, please build
I hate
me
these.
to
I
be
don't-
a
I don't hate this one.
sanctuary, pure and holy.
You know it too, Ned?
To right and true.
Oh, I hate this.
With thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm so creeped out right now.
I'll be a
is haunting.
living
Why are they so haunting?
sanctuary for you.
I feel
It's
attacked
great.
right
They're
now.
all very spooky.
But they're all
so
beautiful.
spooky.
that's why I love them.
Hymns are beautiful.
They have a little bit of spookiness.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to be careful though, because we don't want to get a copyright strike from God.
He's
Copyright
giving those out.
strike. Will smite you.
I like
copyright
Sanctuary.
smite.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
You only
It's a
get
beautiful.
one.
It's a good one. It's spooky.
Yeah.
I walked through the garden alone. That was great.
Oh, that one's really
and
pretty.
he walks with me. Anyway, wow, we're running out of time. I wish we had more time. Tune in next week when we spend the entire hour singing hymns that were in the hymnals of Methodists, Lutherans, and
Presbyterians, baby.
They
I will
share a
be
very similar
out-
songbook.
If I am out for an episode, you guys can just do hymn time the whole time.
Make
Oh
hard
yeah,
punches.
dude! I would do a whole podcast on like weird church moments.
They're basically like Christmas songs, the sleigh bells.
You know what? Let's do that. Maybe that'll be our holiday episode. But I can ask you questions and learn about it because I know nothing.
Oh, we should do a podcast someday where it's just a Seder. Right? Like, you'll just
Yeah.
lead a Seder and we'll just learn about
We'll
the
do our
story of Moses.
Passover special.
Yeah, we should start telling like biblical stories.
All right, we're gonna take a hard left turn.
Wait, is that right before my like gloriously pagan Halloween party that we're throwing?
We'll
No,
do
Seder's forever from now.
Oh,
pagan
okay.
first.
Yeah.
Then we'll tell the story of Christ and his followers.
Which is, and a lot of the other parts of Christmas, which are pagan.
Maybe we'll just make this a pagan. Okay, we're gonna pivot. We're not sure where yet, but it's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna
Stay
be crazy.
tuned.
How about all religions? Just everybody
And
having
actually,
a good time together.
we're going to be creating our own religion slowly. If you've been paying attention, you can tell that the stories we've been telling have tenets. They have lessons. And
They're parables.
Tri-poodles, yeah, we're here to teach you and to lead you into the new world.
Did you say tri-poodles?
Yeah.
We're calling the tripod listeners tri-poodles.
yeah,
That's what
because
we call
everyone
them.
wants to be part of Miles Nation.
Wait
so
a minute.
I want to...
When did this get decided?
I
think
kinda
it was a couple
remember.
weeks ago.
Zach
yeah.
made a warring faction with the Miles Nation.
Tri-poodles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it immediately, but we're a small but mighty bunch. Munch.
Munch.
We're small but-
Mighty Munch.
You can think of a better pod pun?
no, it was the first thing that came out of my mouth, and we all kind of said, "Yep."
I think it is more of a sure.
You missed a few episodes. That's what happens. We make decisions.
I guess so, yeah.
Sometimes decisions are hard and you don't know what decision to make and you need some advice. That means it's time for when we do the next segment of the podcast, advice that will go for Miles with Miles.
Bonsignore.
How y'all doing, Miles Nation?
Oh, I like that.
that's
I
a
love
new
all
one.
of them.
That's a new one.
Do you want to be a genius with a smartness that's going to annihilate your enemies?
He's holding the microphone up off the ground right now.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but he's like
Hovering a
weirdly-
mic stand.
Weirdly lifted.
Do you want to be as slick as a squirrel, as fast as a fish, and as strong as a bear with cubs?
Oh, with cubs.
That's stronger.
real strong.
Yeah.
Make fancy meals at home.
Oh. Can make me smarter.
I have come to find that I have been reading cookbooks lately.
You've come to find.
I've come to find. My
You
girlfriend.
snap back to consciousness and you go, oh my God, Pappardelle.
I did make a pappardelle.
I bet.
My girlfriend gave me 3 amazing cookbooks over the course of the last year, and I've been reading them, and I've been making like fancier things at home. I made a salt-baked branzino.
Oh, you made a fish?
I made a fish.
You made a whole fish?
Made a whole fish.
What'd you do with all those bones?
I deboned it.
wow.
It was,
Where'd
I
the
know.
guts go?
The guts, they went right in the garbage.
Went right in my tummy.
And actually, it was a salt bake, so you like make a like essentially a cocoon of salt and egg white, and then you like
very
it was
fancy.
awesome. But so I've been making those things, and I have found that like fancy recipes and making stuff after work, it's like a great alternative to getting off work and being like, I just want to watch TV. I feel like I've been watching too much TV lately, and I feel like that's a common thing with like people who are in their 20s, 30s. Is you get off work and you're just like, let me pop on The Sinner season 2 and watch that with Carrie Coon.
Apparently it's
And
very good.
we
it's
love
very- it's
Carrie
very
Coon on this
good.
podcast.
Oh, I need to
Yeah.
cast Carrie Coon in my X-Men.
Yes.
That would be
Oh,
awesome.
she could be adult rogue.
That's really cool.
He rocks that short hair.
Oh, someone needs to hire me over there.
But I think it's a good hobby, and it also helps you learn. It helps you do practical skills like in knife work and things like that. And you can listen to podcasts, and you can talk to your roommates or friends or loved ones. It's really it's an enriching thing.
You know, I used to really love cooking. I would cook often when I would get home, but maybe it's a little bit because I don't cook meat at home anymore. But like I've lost some of the fun of cooking because to me, like meat has more variety as a way you can prepare it. It also feels like there's a centerpiece element to it. Like I can't do a whole branzino.
So our book that was written to change our lives and to change the lives of those who read it has changed your life for the worse.
No, it just makes it the only time I cook meat now is for very special occasions. So I guess it's made those more important.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as fun to cut up a bunch of vegetables and stir fry them.
Yeah,
That's
I get
just
that.
the truth.
So go get our book
I'm
and
just
you too
being
can
look, I
learn.
say that at the end of it, do the change that makes you happy and is healthier. I've just chosen one that I'm committing to that happens to include less meat, and I don't cook meat at home.
Are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not doing any of the like turning vegetables into weird meat substitutes? Because I feel like that'd be very involved.
I
Like
try.
fish?
Oh, it's hard to make.
Isn't fish healthy?
I do make fish at home sometimes, but
Pescatarian.
I try to have like some salmon. Maybe we have some shrimp in a pasta,
should-
but that's as far as we go.
Invest in a sous vide.
I
Oh,
know
yeah,
that's been
Miles,
my
get on
next.
that
I have a
sous
sous
vide
vide.
life.
I want. Do you
Get
love
on
it?
that
Because
sous vide life.
I read this blog and I like have this book. It's called Serious Eats. Huge shout out. If you like food stuff, they have like a great equipment list too of just like stuff you should buy. And sous vide's on there. And I was thinking about getting one. You love
It
it?
is 100% worth it if you cook large portions of meat or if you want meat to be cooked perfectly.
Yeah.
Miles, we were gonna surprise you with a Tesla for a video, but instead we will give you a $15 coupon to go get a sous vide.
Well,
Sous vides cost like
man,
$150 to $350.
Yeah, well, that's about a 5%, 10%
That's true.
off.
That's
so-
a nice discount.
Good discount, Miles.
Still would love the Tesla.
Well, I think we know what you need.
Man, we
Well,
all
yeah.
would love a Tesla.
Yeah, I know we all would. Yeah, surprise Miles.
So
with a
here's the
Tesla.
problem with the sous vide, and I know we have to end this thing soon.
Yeah.
You've got to also buy a vacuum sealer.
Yes.
And you've got to buy vacuum seal bags, and you've got to have a good one that is big enough for the roast that you need to vacuum
But
seal.
then think about all the things you can vacuum seal. What a treat.
It's fun until you run out of
I
bags.
think Ziploc bags work just fine.
They do, but it's not, it's not the true experience.
Well, sure,
You
but,
can do
you
the
know.
air displacement with the water displacement way where you lower the bag in and you zip it as it goes underwater. So the weight of the water pushes out most of the air. And that does work most of the time, but it's not as satisfying as the. That's what it sounds like in the last little gulp of air.
I would
swallowed.
vacuum seal everything in my house. Everything that I
will
own.
make her vacuum sealer.
My couch would be vacuum sealed. It would be fresh forever.
You know what people haven't done? You know, there's all those channels where people like they
Prank each
compress
other?
things. No, they like hydraulic press channel or something like that. We should just do vacuum seal channel. We just vacuum seal funny stuff, like a whole Whopper.
Oh, that would be cool.
I just see how much it compresses the burger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vacuum. Yeah.
Okay, don't steal that. Don't
Adam,
steal that. It's going to take us like a couple months to get that in production.
Adam Bianchi and I had a retirement plan once to make 2 channels where we were going to. It was only going to be the first channel dipping sneakers in chocolate. Just whatever the hot new shoe, like every time the new Yeezy comes out, we're just going to slowly dip it in chocolate, like fondue chocolate, like liquid hot. And then the next channel was going to be called power washing sneakers dipped in chocolate. And we were going to power wash them off and see if we could restore them.
It's going to rip them apart when you power wash them.
Yeah, but that's the fun. Yeah.
It's basically a water knife.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So that's my retirement plan.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, all these channels are great. We just need more time.
But for now, we just have the one channel and the other channel where maybe you're listening to this podcast.
So make sure to subscribe to the channel that you're listening on, whether it's YouTube or one of the many podcast networks, so you can get the TryPod every time it's released on Thursday mornings. Leave us a 5-star review, and maybe you'll get a chance for your secret to be read out loud. Check us out on tryguys.com. We've got new merch. We've got backpacks. We've got tie-dyes. Get your back to school on.
Get your merch here!
Even though you've been back to school for a while, everything that you buy helps support our staff here. We've got a big staff. We got 15 people that work here.
We're huge.
We're looking for office space. It's a big operation here.
Pacific Northwest, we're coming to you. We got dates in Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. We're so excited to see you. Go get your tickets now while you still can. This has been the TryPod. Keith, hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
Oh, you know you love it. TryPod tonight.
Until next time, stay beautiful.